India's premier spirits company, United Spirits Limited or USL, seems to be suffering a massive and ugly hangover. Over the last 6 months, USL has written off over 4,300 crore rupees, eroding its net worth by half. A considerable amount is on account of receivables from Mallya's holding company, UBHL. Then last week, public shareholders voted down several related party transactions with Mallya entities, overtly expressing their discontent with the company's ownership and management. Vijay Mallya, as you know, has been declared willful defaulter, as has his holding company UBHL. And even though he's contesting this ignominious tag, the consequences are already being felt. This week, Mallya's position on the Kingfisher board did not get ministry approval, and he also had to step off the board of another group company, MCF. Despite all this, Vijay Mallya continues as the chairman of United Spirits, all thanks to support from majority shareholder Diageo. So it falls upon us to ask, isn't it time Vijay Mallya steps down as chairman of USL? To answer that question, I have with me corporate lawyer Sanjay Ashar and former SEBI director and SES co-founder J.N. Gupta. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. The first instance I want to bring up in order to be able to answer my question has to do with the large number of write-downs that USL has taken after having delayed its financial accounts for several months. I won't go through all the write-downs. Many of them are very suspicious. I want to bring up only 2 instances. There have been cases of USL debtors, people that owed USL money, saying, we will not return this money to you because we have loaned money to Mallya entities. Until they don't pay us back, we won't pay you back. Some of those debtors in the last 2 months have miraculously changed their story, but there's still a large amount of money stuck in that instance. The second and most shocking one is to do with a gentleman or a person or an entity who claims that he gave a loan of 200 crore rupees to Kingfisher Airlines, right? He wrote to USL about this and said that this loan, one of the basis for this loan was a lien created on some USL investments. 3 months or 2 months after he wrote to USL saying, please convert that lien into a pledge, he suddenly withdrew his claim and said, sorry, my lawyers missed some details in an addendum. As USL investigated this story, they've come to find out that yes, in fact, there was an agreement between KFA and this alleged entity, and that agreement did create a lien on some USL investments. The USL board says we never approved any such lien. The USL management says we had no knowledge of any such lien. These are 2 ugly instances of the kinds of financial transactions that have taken place at USL over the last several months. Would you say that these in themselves, Mr. Gupta, are grounds enough for Vijay Mallya to introspect and say, this is what has gone on under my regime, I should step down?
The question is very pertinent, and the answer is very simply that legally speaking, as of now, there is nothing which requires Mr. Mallya to step down. But we are not discussing the legal issue. We are discussing what is right, what is wrong. And ethically, morally, and from the governance perspective, he has no business to continue on the board of USL sitting as a chairman, because we had pointed in our report also that inquiries were going on and USL board had ordered inquiry. How can an inquiry be fair and transparent when the person who is inquired against or the company which are inquired against is sitting at the helm of the company? So we said that Mr. Mallya should step down as a chairman at least till such time the inquiries are over, the reports are there. And now what you are pointing out is very simply that all throughout the company was run as a fiefdom of Mr. Mallya. It is evident that neither the board was aware nor the management aware what is happening, or it was a silent board or board which was not doing any business or just attending the board meeting and not going into the details. So to me it is a case where it is a utter mismanagement there, and one person's rate was running large and he was able to do whatever he wanted.
And he should step down.
He should
step down.
No, why should he step down? He is only a representative of UB Holdings on USL. As far as the loans to KFA is concerned, or any of the observations or of the auditor are concerned, Mr. Mallya was an interested party, and therefore he would have refrained from voting at that particular item. All the directors...
What voting are you talking about,
The
Sanjay?
board
If I may reiterate the example I just gave you, there is a lien that's being created on USL's investments. in order for an entity to extend a loan to Kingfisher, which is a Mallya group company. USL's management says we didn't know there was a lien being created on our investments. The board says we never approved anything of this nature. The company has made this disclosure itself in its accounts. How is it that this is all right?
Granted that the board may not have approved it, but the management
says it has no knowledge of it. A lien is created on a company's asset, on a company's investment. The company doesn't know about it.
This is an observation of an auditor that management had no notice of it.
This is the disclosure of United Spirits, on the basis of which it says we are going to investigate further.
Because
the board has directed a detailed and expeditious inquiry. This is what they found out based on the agreements that they've witnessed or seen.
Granted, so I'm only trying to say that how can we hold Mr. Vijay Mallya responsible for all this?
Because he's
if the management, no, he's not the beneficiary.
If it was not Kingfisher, if it was not Kingfisher and it was some other third unrelated company, then maybe I would agree with you saying, yes, actually, how can you hold Mr. Mallya responsible? This is a loan being given to Kingfisher on the basis of some USL investments as the underlying.
Fine, there may be investments of USL, which may be,
and USL
which may be pledged, there may be a lien which would have been created. What I'm only trying to say here is that, look, how can you hold a individual responsible for the purpose of lien? Why aren't you not blaming the USL management? Why are you not blaming USL board?
So you're saying the management and the board did all this, Mr. Mallya didn't know about it.
I'm not saying, we don't know.
He was the unknowing, innocent bystander when one company of his was taking a loan on the basis of investments made by another company of his, and that other company says, we never knew anything about it.
I'm only saying that we cannot single out Dr. Vijay Mallya for this particular observation in the account.
Fine. No, we'll leave one second. It's not just these suspicious-looking financial transactions that have prompted the question, is it time for Vijay Mallya to step down as chairman of the USL board? There are other reasons for why we're posing this question, and those are coming up right after this break.